Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jaylee. We're back in the stew. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down that fire sample you heard at the start of the video, inspired by Life of a Don by Toliver. The track I'm going for, or the track that this sample is inspired by, is Flocky Flocky featuring Travis Scott. So I'm going to break down that sample, show you the individual elements, some additional kind of effects and stuff I've added to it, and then I'm going to turn that into a beat. So that's what we're getting into in today's video. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell icon so you stay up to date with all the produced content here on a weekly basis. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's jump into this one. Alright guys, so we're going to start off by breaking down this sample. So the easiest way to kind of look at this sample is like this. So there's a lot of layers, this section here. This is the intro and it has a lot of different instrumentation. And then this is like the hook, and we bring back some of this instrumentation here. So the intro is a lot more kind of like synth driven, and then the verses and the hooks are a lot more kind of guitar driven with some synth basses and stuff. So the first thing I kind of went to here in this sample was these simple chords, these kind of Mike Dean style chords with this sound here in Octave Deluxe, the Sickness pad. So this is what it sounds like. And that melody just has that retro feel. You got that dark feel in the first two sort of chords there, and then it's kind of this sort of 80s kind of vibe more at the end of that. Next up, I've come in to Purity. So this plugin is really good for like synth leads that kind of sound retro. So I kind of came up with this. So what I'm doing is I'm using the third note in the scale and the second note in the scale for the chords of the first two, and then we're actually just using the chords we use with the synth in the previous melody, but we're just playing them individually. So this is what this sounds like on its own. So very simple on its own, but in context it sounds much better. So next up, we went into Omnisphere in these stone arps. I'm going to just show you this preset here, and we've got this playing in mixer track 2 here, and as you can see, we've got an EQ, so we're cutting up a lot of the lower frequencies, some reverb there, some EQ again, just dampening certain frequencies, and then enhancing the stereo a little bit there, taking it from like 50% to probably like 75. So that in combination with the other three obviously starts to add more suspense and starts to build. The next thing I kind of went ahead and did was I put in this really simple bass pattern, and this was just for the sake of keeping it simple before the beat drop. So in context, the stone up and the bass sound like this. Oh, also the bass is from Octave Deluxe 2. This is Roland 60s. And to texture up the stone arps, I've put in this other octave melody, which I'll show you here. And how I achieve that is I've just used the same chords that I used in the previous melody. So if I was to do it again, it would be like this. What I've done here is like Alt A, and then you can start to arpeggiate them. So that's kind of how I've achieved that melody. And this is just to kind of couple up, and I've kind of panned the Omnisphere stone up to the left and the octave melody to the right to kind of create more tension again. And these two here are used throughout the track here with the guitar parts as well, which I'll get into in a minute. And what I'm using is the water key here in Octave. So for the next section, I'm just going to break down the bits that I haven't covered. So it's two parts. It's an ample guitar light playing this pattern here, which I'll play on its own for context. So that then in context with the other guitar, which is the Ramina, which I'll play on its own first. So if you guys are wondering how I sort of came up with the top line melodies, it's actually a really easy method. I created one of these melodies. This was the first one. And then I've kind of put it in the gaps between the chords. And then I've just adjusted stuff by either using Alt-Y to flip it or just deleting certain notes or just manually changing them. And that gives like a little bit of natural variety, but it keeps the melody sounding really kind of interesting and consistent because you're using the same notes or very similar notes in the scale, but you're just playing them in a different order really. So yeah, that sounds really hard like that. And then, like I said, we're bringing in those other octaves and omnispheres and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much the full sort of sample portion. So what I've done is I've exported it here, and now I've added some extra sounds from Splice. This sound is called Top 40 Pop 105 Retro ARP. So I'll just quickly show you what it looks like in Splice so you guys could maybe find it if you use it. So that's it there in the Make It Pop by Black Octopus, and I've just added that over the top so you guys can hear that quickly with the exported melody here. And I just prefer to just work with one big kind of sample after I've figured out where the melodies are going to go. So I'll just sort of show you these effects that I've put into give it more of that sort of like Mike Dean synth feel, because I don't obviously have a shitload of synths behind me. I've obviously had to use like one shots and different stuff to kind of create something similar in this vibe. So yeah, that's kind of where I've gone with it. Obviously we've got an EQ here, just for the parts with the bass in, just to, I'm not gonna have any drums where the bass is in, so I'm gonna just have the EQ off, so then you can kind of get the feel of the atmosphere a little bit more, and it breaks it up a little bit so you're not constantly hearing the same drums and the same 808 and stuff. So yeah, now I'm gonna pretty much go in with some sounds I've already selected and just make this into like, just a bit of a fire Don Toliver kind of vibe. So yeah, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go into this tight snare, which is from my Phantom drum kit, and we can just start sort of layering this up. Turn that up a little bit. Control Q on that once we get it to quarter beat. Let's just start doubling up those snares a little bit. Add a little triplet roll here. Stagger that velocity. Let's put these both up like this. Alright, so I'm going with this hi-hat here. We've got the offset just on slightly there. Keep that down, and then we can just cut in a two-step quickly, and then I'm just going to nudge these over just ever so slightly. So I'm just going to hold Alt as I do that and move them slightly. So I can hear like a roll here, so I'm just going to remove that there. And we can just select that and just paint that in. So we've got quite a nice long 808 here, and we're just gonna go in there. So we'll start off with that as a basic pattern. That's hard. So I think I'm going to move that over to the last bar. Like that. Shift D here. So you find with like these beats, they're like really simple sort of 808 in terms of the patterns, the notes. They're not using a lot of notes, but it's just more about adding to the vibe. So. Points off. Let's do that. Then let's stagger these up like this. I mean, that's hitting pretty heavy now. And like, you don't have to add a kick, but I think just for this instance, I'm gonna add a kick. That's hard. Yo guys, so that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully you took something from it. Please go ahead and let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Like the video, and of course make sure you subscribe to the channel so you stay up to date with all the producer content here. But that's pretty much it from me today. Don't forget all the free producer resources are linked in the description, as are the premium sounds if you guys want to go ahead and further support the channel and level up your sound. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. I'll play you guys a little preview of it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Yo, J-Lib, send that pack.